Hello, we are back for the last live of day 6 of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle Instagram Live Extravaganza. Excited to be inviting Roya on, and we're going to be talking about her entire family healing with a raw food diet. Oh, got a kitty getting her food here. So that's going to be awesome. Just so you guys know, we are both a part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. She's got her book, Love Recipes, in there. It's awesome. There's amazing recipes in there you'll really like. And, and the whole bundle altogether is worth $1,850. But just for $50, just until the 11th. That's it. And let's invite Roya on here. You can grab the bundle in both of our links in bio. Welcome, Roya. Hey, guys. Hello. Aw, bless you, man. Hey, Roya.
Hi,
How you doing?
Chris. I am fine. I'm so excited to be here with you.
You too. It's good to see you. Good after talking back and forth with wiggling our fingers a whole bunch to be a bit more face-to-face and be able to have a conversation here.
Definitely. I'm very excited to be here.
Blessed that you're here. Blessed by you asking to come on live and talk about this today and share, and for contributing to the bundle. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me share my story.
Absolutely. So where are you right now? It looks beautiful.
Yes, this is my yard. This is my favorite tree, a fig tree.
Oh, wow, those are nice.
Yeah. I'm sitting in my yard and I wanted to show you my fig tree, and I have a pomegranate tree, and I have a tangerine tree, and I have a Washington tree, a Chinese date, and I got a peach, donut peach. We also call it Persian peach tree. Yeah, wow. I could probably show you the peaches. They're so lovely.
Oh, uh-oh. The only thing is, it seems where you are, the internet isn't so good, so you're breaking up a bunch. Oh, there we are. Oh, wow. How long until all this is going to be ready and ripe to eat?
Very soon. Soon. Maybe less than a month. It depends on the weather. Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
It depends on the weather.
You are breaking up, so good to get closer to your router, so we make sure you have good internet.
How about right now? Am I good to go right now?
Yeah, this seems like it should be good right now. Someone's asking, is this Hawaii? Where exactly are you?
Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles, and I was just at the beach. I went there for hiking, and I wanted to do the live from there, but I thought about the noise, the ocean noise. So I came back. So I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Wow. What part of Los Angeles are you in, roughly?
San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
San Fernando Valley. If you're
beautiful.
Familiar with that.
I love Los Angeles. I've lived in LA for about maybe 3.5 years of my life, maybe near to 3.5. Yeah, something like that, maybe 4. But never in that area. I was mostly in Burbank and a bit in Chinatown and a bit in Marina del Rey and a couple other places.
Yeah, I love Marina del Rey. That's one of my favorite spots.
It's pretty darn nice, hey? Yeah, I was really lucky to be there for a while and really close to the Venice Farmers Market, and I was just sucking up all the cherimoyas that they had, and yeah, just loving that whole scene. It's so beautiful out there. California living, it's got a stigma because it's pretty amazing, or not a stigma. It's got a reputation because of it.
I go to the farmers market every weekend too.
Yeah. Well, with all those fruit trees, it seems like you almost wouldn't need to during some seasons.
I have a beautiful apricot tree. The apricot, since I left Iran, I had not tasted such a great apricot, but I can tell you that this is even better than what I tasted in Iran. It's so juicy. But
you're making all of us jealous. You're making all of us jealous, Roya.
But a lot of it goes to the birds and the squirrels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the truth, isn't it? You got to share, otherwise you're putting big nets and spraying with gross things and stuff like that. And it's kind to have enough to be able to share and just enjoy what you can, right?
Yes. Half of my fig tree goes to the birds and the squirrels, and I don't mind. I love that I can share that and give back to the environment. That is
Yeah.
the spirit of eating a raw vegan diet. We become even more kind to the nature and to the animals. And doesn't mean that everybody who is not raw is not kind, but it just
No.
same person, but I'm the same person, but more kind, more loving to the nature. And I feel like I belong to the nature. The way that I love this tree. My Instagram tree logo is a fig heart shape.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me so many heart shaped figs
Yeah.
so far, like
Yeah.
20, 25, even more. So
Wow.
I kiss it and it kisses me back with giving me great figs. Heart.
Aw.
So
I
maybe other people will not understand my feelings towards fruits and the trees and the nature and the animals. I've been told that, oh, it's your imagination, you're thinking that you're in a higher frequency. It's in your thought, but whatever it is, that's how I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your thoughts and match your vibrations, and when you're acting in that way too, I mean, all of it comes together. And I can definitely 100% relate. And I don't think that you're crazy in thinking that even a small little bit. There's magic in the trees, there's magic in the air, there's magic in the animals. There's magic in each other. I totally agree. I think this lifestyle definitely it raises your awareness, right? Like just like you said, it doesn't make you a better person or a happier person necessarily, but it exposes you to that potential to raise yourself up, to be more aware of those qualities and bring more attention to them.
Yes, definitely.
So I know, raw food has had a big impact on your life as well as your family's life. And for those who don't necessarily, don't maybe know you already, can you share a little bit about your story and how you got into raw food and the changes it's made for you personally?
Yes, definitely. I started learning about the raw vegan diet when my husband was facing diabetes and neuropathy.
Mhm.
So, he started the tingling in his feet and the stabbing feeling, and his feet were getting very super hot, and he couldn't sleep. He had to sleep like in front of the air conditioning, and all night he was up. We went to the doctor, and doctor said, your feet are fine, numbers are great, and he was like, then why my feet hurt so much? And then they gave him a medication, but our doctor said, because our doctor was aware of his previous medication side effects that was giving him a hard time and me a hard time. So the doctor said, I'm giving you the mildest medication, but try not to take it because this will work after a few days, and then it doesn't take the cause away, but it just for a little bit you're not going to have the pain, but then if you take it all the time, then the pain comes back. And then we were like, wow. Last time when he was taking Zoloft for his high spikes, his blood pressure spikes, that caused him and me, a lot of problems
Yeah.
and side effects. We could see the spot, the brown spot on his back, which is from the liver damage. And his memory wasn't so good anymore. A lot of stuff. So when the doctor said take the mildest, I'm giving the mildest thing and be aware of the side effects, we were like, wow, what is this gonna do? So we started searching, and we found out that the neuropathy, because the doctor said this is just part of diabetes, neuropathy, it happens, it's normal.
Yeah.
So then he said, be careful with your feet, make sure you go to the pedicure, and don't don't walk without special shoes, don't be on your feet all the time. He couldn't drive. When he was driving, his feet were burning, and he was facing a complete different lifestyle
Yeah.
because he was very active and he wanted to be in the yard all the time doing stuff, driving. So when this happened, we started both searching about what could be the cause, and we found out that it was neuropathy from diabetes. And then we looked for, is there any solution? Because there was no solution. We had to just deal with it. So I found out, and he found out about the alkaline diet.
Yep.
And I read about, I saw a few people on YouTube curing themselves with like their fingers were not moving. Then they had some baking soda, and it worked because of the alkalinity of baking soda. But I knew about baking soda could have some side effects, so we searched more and more, and we found out about what is alkaline. Well, greens are alkaline.
Yeah.
Then at that time I didn't know about fruits, but we started with greens, certain greens, and then bitter gourd. I don't know if you're familiar with bitter gourd. It looks like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
all that stuff. We learned about these things, and we started to have some hope. So I told him about it. We started listening to these videos on YouTube that it's possible to be cured. It's not the end of his life. It's not his destiny to be on a wheelchair or not be able, because once we learned about neuropathy, we found out later on he could go numb in his feet and not be able to move, and he could burn his feet and not notice it.
Yeah.
That was very scary.
Yeah.
So we found some hope seeing the documentary Forks Over Knives.
Yeah. Yeah.
We started feeling, oh, maybe there's maybe he can get better. But we still didn't believe it 100%. And he liked medicine. He was like doctor, going to doctors always. The modern medical thing, and he believed in it so much. He didn't believe in like other alternatives. But once we saw the Forks Over Knives, we're still not sure. We were like, okay, they charge so much money, like we have to pay like $20,000 to go somewhere to eat raw food. 10,000, 20, that was the price the guys paid, I think.
Wow.
We were like, how do we know it's true? Maybe it's not true. And we searched more and more and more, and we found videos in my language, my first language, Persian, Farsi language, that people in Iran had been cured with neuropathy and kidney problems, so many different things. So when we saw that, and then we saw a couple of doctors, Persian doctors on YouTube. A couple of them had cancer many years ago. They were gonna die, but they survived. One of them passed away at the age of like 85, but he had cancer like around the age of, I don't know, 45 or something. So he lived around another 45. We saw those videos, and then another doctor that became our raw vegan doctor later on. He had cancer when he was young, when he was in his 40s, and then he found out about the natural hygiene, and he learned about that, so he started that. He was also a homeopath. Anyway, I saw his video, very good videos. And then another doctor who went to California to study, to do eye surgery, and he lives in Iran right now. So for more than 30 years, he's raw. He didn't have a disease or anything. He just found out when he was young that this way of eating is good and healthy. So he turned, and we were able to travel to Iran and go to his office, and it was so strange that he had 2 visits. He goes, when we went to his office, we went just to see him, to see someone who was raw for 30-something years old, 30-something years. He was like 7 years at that time. We wanted to see how he looked like, how he moved, acted. Is it for real? So when we went to visit him, his secretary was like, do you want to visit him for nutrition, or you want to visit him for your eyes? And we were like, kind of both. She said, no, he can only visit you for one of them. Then we said we came to see him, and okay, nutrition, we're gonna. Then when he found out we came from US, he's like, okay, I will visit you for both situations. And then checked our eyes, and he said, at that time we were raw for like a couple of years, and he said, your eyes are good. The neuropathy, he said, your eyes are perfect. And he told us some stories, and we saw how light he was, how easily he moved around the room. He didn't even use glasses. In his speeches, he says that he was wearing glasses before he went raw, and after that he put them away.
What was his name, by the way? What was his name?
Dr. Muzaffarpur. Yeah, I'll try to make a documentary if he lets me. I would like to interview him, but the internet is not so well over there. but yeah, I will make at least a video about him if he lets me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was his visit. That was very amazing. So we found out that he was giving for nutrition, raw vegan nutrition. He was also visiting people. But going back to my husband, his neuropathy, his diabetes also caused him eye problems. Like he had what do you call? No. I wasn't ready to say this. Um, when part of your eye, it's a very hard surgery that you do in your eye. I might remember the name later, but I can't remember the name in English right now, not even in Farsi. It's
It does.
yeah, the excitement of this interview. He had that if he didn't have surgery right away for those it explodes, like something behind your eye explodes and then it bleeds, and if you don't have surgery right away you can go blind. That's what he ended up having. That is before he went raw. So he had the surgery, but for 3 days he had to not eat his blood thinners. He should have had the surgery right away, but the blood thinner didn't let him because it could cause bleeding. So after the time we went to visit this eye doctor, eye specialist, he already had his surgery for his eye, and he had his cataract surgery also. That's the kind of surgery you have to look down. Like you have to look down for like a whole week, and if you look up it can bleed, and he could lose his eyesight completely.
Wow.
And lose some eyesight, 40-50%, because he had to wait a few days. And but the doctor said, your eyes are great, you don't have your vision is great. And my husband, after we went raw, his eye pressure was better than mine. Because I am also a teacher, so I grade a lot of stuff and go on the computer stuff. But he was older. He's older than me, and his eye was better than me, even though he had the surgery. But he was very good with his eating also. He didn't ever cheated or anything on the raw vegan diet. And so that's when we found out about these things, and I started first. He read Dr. Neil Bernard's book about, if you're familiar with him, his father was a specialist in diabetes, and so is he. So first he followed him. So he was eating cooked food also. But I started trying raw right away. At that time I was overweight. I was overweight. My body type changed. I was normally a pearl, and I was turning into an apple, big stomach, and I wasn't able to lose weight. I always went to Weight Watchers, watched my calories and everything, but it wasn't going down anymore because I was in pre-menopause and the hormonal problems that happens because of that. And I mean, my body wasn't acting normal at all. I was bleeding, extremely bleeding, and I couldn't control it. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go to the doctors, and I got to eat those pills for iron or whatever, hormonal pills or all that. I was facing that, and that was depressing me.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I also had a heart problem, because I had a dog that passed away, and everything happened after like a couple of years after our dog passed away, because for 2 years we were up all night feeding him, taking care of him, making sure he can go outside, all that stuff. So we were not cooking at home all the time. Maybe we ate too much turkey or sodium or whatever it was. No time for exercise. So my heart also, I had heart palpitation, and I had a hard time breathing, catching my breath. And I remember one time we went hiking with a group, and I really love hiking, and I went with them. But when I came back, I ended up with a fever, and I was shivering. I couldn't get out of my tent. That's how I felt, because my heart just couldn't take it. I couldn't walk with everybody else, the young people, up to the end of the street, and I was feeling embarrassed and close to 50, and feeling that, oh my God, this is my life from now on. I mean, I have to get used to it, And so I started reading about raw, and I said, you know what, because my husband was taking a lot of medication. He was afraid to try raw 100%. But I said, I'm going to try it and see how it works on my body. I'm like, because I didn't have energy at that time.
Yeah.
I would come home from school and dead. I was like dead. I had no energy to grade papers, to get up and cook or clean or anything.
Yeah.
And I tried, like, even for water fasting at that time. I remember even juice fasting. I couldn't do it. For 2 hours without food, I would be shivering. I had no energy. I would think I'm dying. That's how addicted I was to this food, you know, preservatives, all that stuff. So when I started eating raw, first day I said I'm just gonna eat whatever is raw at home. I have, because I was still watching what I ate. I wasn't eating all junk food. I was eating before that. You know, we were vegetarian, not 100%, but maybe 4 or 5 days a week we were. And I was eating salad and stuff. So I started with eating like carrots or lettuce or whatever was raw in the house. I didn't go shopping or anything.
Yeah.
The first day I said I'm gonna start eating like this and see what happens to me. But I had the energy. I had more energy eating these things that were raw rather than eating the cooked food. So I started to believe in it, you know, and every day I extended the hours from 12 to 1 to 2 to 3. And I noticed as soon as I ate some of the cooked vegan food that my husband was eating, I would start, my body would shut down. I would get tired. I would have to take a nap again. But as long as I ate this raw food, I was able to walk around as if it was in the morning. And I'm also a caregiver for my mother. So having all the chores that I had to do, I was excited just for that reason, that I had the energy to get it done. So every day I pushed the cooked food to later time, you know, until like 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I would put a few bites. I would put the cooked food, like whatever I wanted, put it on the plate, save it for later. And, you know, and then first when I started, I ate one cooked meal a week. On Sundays, one cooked vegan food. But then my husband, a few months later, my husband met this raw vegan doctor that I said he had cancer. His name is Dr. Farkhonde. He lives in Europe.
Okay.
He lost one kidney and he's living on one kidney, and he had cancer also. So we got introduced. We met him. We found him, and he talked to my husband, and he went 100% raw at that time. Well, with Dr. Neil Bernard, part of his problems got solved. His diabetes medication was cut in half. His blood pressure medication was cut in half. But he was eating like half raw. But then when he met this doctor, he told him just go raw, because we were not. My husband was scared to cut his medication because but he knew that he didn't need it. Like his body didn't need it because he was losing weight and he was getting healthier. So with the help of that doctor, he just started right away, 100% raw. Yeah. He started eating like watermelon, and he was scared to eat a lot of watermelon because of that, you know, and got his blood sugar level, and compared to oatmeal that he was eating before, his numbers were lower. His sugar number, fasting numbers were lower. So he started the first day, and that's when I jumped in and I said, I'm going to do whatever he eats, because I didn't want him to feel deprived, and I knew it was going to be good for me anyways. So, but he was better with following, you know, all or nothing. He's like just much. I have always been an emotional eater, you know, food lover in my family, you know. My mom used to eat like a pound of sweets all at once. She would wake up in the middle of the night and eat a whole pound. Or my dad loved meat, so that's how I grew up. And you know, so for me it was harder, but because of the love of him and wanting him to be healthy and I didn't want him to get handicapped or anything. That gave me power to not cheat. That gave me power to stay on this diet, and I did it with him. And but I didn't know that all of my issues were problems too that could be healed. I thought that I was not sick. I thought that's just, you know, that's just how life is. You get older, you have problems. But as soon as I did it with the pounds, I started losing the pounds. I hated going on the scale when I was at Weight Watchers. I mean, I'm still sometimes going to Weight Watchers because it's fun just to be with a group and talk about health and stuff. But at that time, I hated going on the scale every week. 1 week I would gain, 1 week I would lose, and I felt bad. So once I went on this 100% raw, I just didn't have to go to Weight Watchers anymore because I knew pounds were coming off. They were just coming off. And everybody kept telling me, oh, you lost weight. Every week people were, I wasn't even paying attention to my weight anymore because I was doing it for a more important goal, which was health.
Yeah.
You know, I have,
So big.
we also have cancer in our family. I've lost an aunt and cousin and friends to cancer. So I was aware of, effects of food on cancer. So I was always watching. Even if I ate everything, I was watching how much meat I was eating. I tried not to eat meat as much as I could. So this was my lifestyle before. But once I learned about these things, I was just so excited knowing about sugar. Because I always thought, hey, my mom ate sugar. She loves sweet. She survived. She lived her life. How bad can sugar be? But then I saw a documentary about sugar, that how it can, and I found out about GMO that I didn't know. I didn't know anything about genetically modified, and I found out the sugar now is not the same sugar that my mom ate when she was young. So that's when I stopped eating sugar completely too. So all of this helped me. My husband got healed. He got healed. His neuropathy got healed. He was able to drive. He didn't have any more sensation, those tingling, stabbing. It took him about 6 months to completely get healed. His A1C number went down. Sugar levels were all balanced. Blood pressure balanced, all that stuff. But on top of his cures, because when he went 100% raw, he also had hernia, by the way. He had hernia, and wherever we studied, even in the Persian community, they said hernia cannot be healed with raw vegan diet. But this doctor that we met, he said it can get a lot better. So that's why he went right away on 100% raw, and it did heal him. Not 100%, but he was able to lift heavy things, going hiking, not the highest hikes possible, but he was able to go moderate, good hiking. Lifting heavy stuff. He was able to live his life with this diet. So he got healed, okay, but I got healed too. I mean, he also had heart problems that were he felt a lot better. But in the parallel to him, I noticed that because when I got into this diet, I was in premenopause. I couldn't stop the bleeding, and I went to homeopathy pharmacy, and I bought a lot of organic supplements and some drops that helped me stop it from getting worse. And they were expensive. We had to pay like $250, $300 a month for our supplements. Wow. But it was hopeful. But when I went on this diet, on this food lifestyle, I just didn't feel it anymore. I don't even remember how I got healed, when I got healed. It just happened so quickly. Maybe it took me 2 to 3 months, but no side effects from premenopause. And after that, I flew through menopause because I saw all my coworkers after menopause. They would come to my room, like my assistants. They would say, turn on the air conditioning because we are hot. They were getting hot flashes. And many of my friends have to remove their parts of their body because of the hormonal problems, and that gives older women, hot flashes and all that. I knew about these things. They always complained and I didn't like it, but I flew through it. I mean, I didn't notice a thing regarding menopause. And then I had flat feet. And I still have flat feet, but it doesn't hurt anymore. And then varicose vein. When I gained weight, my varicose veins were hurting me more than ever. I used to be a hairdresser before, and I had a hard time standing on my feet. I would wear special nylons to keep my veins together so it wouldn't hurt that much. But when I gained weight, like before I started raw, I wasn't even able to take care of my guests, bring them tea or stuff. That 30 minutes on my feet was very, very painful. I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That went away. And then I also had spare heels.
Mm-hmm.
Spare heels, SPUR, I think it's spelled. I didn't know what to do with that. That was another thing that came.
Yeah.
And I had to do a surgery of it.
wow.
I mean, somebody told me bang something hard and massage it with hot water. I did everything that I found on YouTube, but nothing helped. But it went away. I had a hard time walking. That's how bad it was. And then I had the finger toe, like the second one was one time I twisted my toe, and then in the bottom of that toe finger, it got broken. Something broke, and yeah, when I MRI, they told me it's like naturally you were like this. But I was like, all my life I was walking on it fine until I twisted my toe. After I twisted my toe, it started hurting so much I couldn't walk. My ankle was hurting because of that. My knee was hurting. Please let me know if I'm talking too much. Whenever you want me to stop. I don't want to go too long.
No, it's good.
But I had
It's good.
things.
Yeah.
My knee was hurt. Like I couldn't pull myself up in the camper truck that I have because of the knee problem. I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know how when you go swimming, bring yourself up to the side, you pull yourself up. I couldn't do that. There were so many things I couldn't do anymore. Going up the stairs, I had a hard time because of my knee pain. All of this got healed. But the one that was broken, my toe, that was really amazing, because even when I went to Iran, I had another MRI, and the doctor said you have to have surgery. But he said you can try like putting a popsicle next to it and try it and see if you can live with it for a little bit. And I did that, and I ate this way. All of these combination together. After that, I went to the doctor, and he said, "How is your toe?" And I said, "My toe is fine." He goes, "I'm glad you didn't have the surgery, because when it gets better, many surgeries don't come out well. They don't come out nice, and we never know which one is good, which one is not. Before we do it, we don't know if yours will be a good surgery or not. So I'm really excited about all. I was a lot also. That went away. Yeah, the snoring thing went away. If I eat raw, which I do, it's not there anymore. But what else I had? My heart palpitation, no problem. I have thick blood. My mom has that too, because my mom also had atrial fibrillation. She was taking medication, blood thinner. She's not taking blood thinner anymore.
Yeah.
The story of my
she's
mom
on the raw food too. Yourself, your husband, and your mom.
Me, my husband, raw fully. My mom, okay, there was a time, the same time that we started raw, a year later, she was dealing with anemia and she always had kidney problems. 22 years ago when she came to me, she was 7 years old, and she had many issues. I was taking her to doctors 4 times a week. She had everything you can think of, she had, but she didn't have diabetes, and she was starting to have high blood pressure, but I found out about preservatives and cooked food, so I always made her food so she didn't have blood pressure. But she had a lot of other pain. She's very sensitive to pain. She cannot tolerate pain. So it was hard. When I started learning about these things, I said, well, maybe I can use it on my mom. And our raw vegan doctor said, no, leave her alone, because she also has mild schizophrenia. She has hallucinations, and he's like, leave her alone. But I was like, no, I have to. When I know these things about healthy food, I have to give it to my mom too. And it wasn't easy, because she was going to daycare. And I tried to pack her food, and I called them and I said, give her these fruits first, then give her the sandwich later, because over there she was eating, they gave her healthier food, like they said they were giving her food for elderly, but it had sodium. It was like chicken nuggets that are frozen, and a lot of like white bread and all that stuff. So I started giving food to her to take, like make her a lunch bag to take to work, to school, to daycare. But it's hard for them, because she had to go, this kind of eating makes you go to the bathroom a lot. And a lot of people don't like elderly to have to use the bathroom a lot, because cleaning and helping them is harder. So eventually my raw vegan doctor said, you know what, bring her home so you can give her better food.
Yeah.
She need that. So because, and I brought her, she's not going to the daycare anymore. She stayed home so that I could supervise, because I saw the difference slowly. She's not vegan 100%, but when she got sick and she went to the hospital, she was vegan. And at home, like once every week or every 10 days, I might give her something that's not vegan but organic, and not too much, because first of all, because everybody in the family will accuse me, anything happens to her, that it was because I made her vegan that this happened. So I'm letting her have a little bit of vegan food like every 10 days, so they don't blame me. Plus, when she goes out with my family members, my brother, they're not vegan, so she might want to try their food. I don't want her to have a shock. So mildly she's eating that way, but the I started giving her raw food until 4, until 4 fruits, and then very healthy bread, like sprouted, organic. Not always, but I even noticed when she had knee pain and I cut that bread, even the organic sprouted bread, her knee pain went away. So I introduced it to her, and then once she has one cooked vegan, very healthy, watching the food combination, for dinner, which is hard for her because she's used to her traditions and stew over rice, mixing. She still asks me, when I try to watch food combination, she doesn't like it, but I keep reminding her, Mom, this is what you need for your pain, for your inflammation, all that stuff. So she got a lot better up to a point that she was walking even without the cane. I had to remind her, Mom, take your cane, use your cane all the time. She started walking. She started getting happier. We could see that she was getting healed, and she didn't need the doctor stopped her blood thinner because it was causing her internal bleeding. And I talked to Dr. Day. If you know Dr. Day, she also cured her breast cancer with. She's 100% raw. She's like 75 raw and 25 cooked. She's amazing doctor too.
That's awesome.
So I discussed it with her, and her cardiologist cut her blood thinner, which was such a pain, that warfarin that she had to blood test every week. And then even one for her palpitation, the doctor cut that too. But I have to watch her. I'm watching her, but she got a lot of the medications are out. She was doing really well, and then one day walking in the yard, her walker broke. She was doing really well, but the walker broke her, so she fell on the cement. 91 at that time. Last year this happened, so we had to take her to the hospital, and she had a surgery. And the cardiologist in the hospital was like, "Why she's not taking blood thinner? Which cardiologist cut her blood thinner?" Because normal people have blood pressure medication at her age and blood thinners. It was strange to them. She was taking blood thinner at that time. She couldn't do her hip surgery right away. She would have to wait for it for 3 days, and God knows if she would survive the pain of 3 days. Plus, they had to give her no food for until she had the surgery, and I don't know if she would have survived. So she was lucky because of her diet. She was not taking blood thinner. Anyway, she had the surgery. She survived the surgery. The surgery went well, but they dismissed her kind of early. She went to the rehab to bring her home, but they said at home you only get twice a week of physical therapy. In the rehab, you get every day. So she went to the rehab, but over there she had a stroke. And I found out first. They didn't do anything. I was hoping that in the rehab, the doctors would keep an eye on her, but they didn't notice it. So I called them and I said, can you bring a doctor there? I think she has symptoms of a stroke because her tongue is not moving. They brought a speech therapist. Knew something was wrong, but I don't know why they didn't think of stroke. Her hand is not coming up completely. She's not able to eat, so she went to the hospital. Gave her water fasting. Can you believe it? Water fasting for for 48 hours, but with IV.
Yeah.
Thinking, wow, even in the hospital, they know that water fasting can have benefits, of course, under supervision. That's how
Yeah.
they saved her. The first, she couldn't talk. She couldn't
Yeah.
talk in the hospital. She couldn't drink water, food. And they were going to put a tube in her nose to feed her. They
Yeah.
said, she's not able to eat and she's not able to drink because she's choking. She was choking. But they didn't know about the power of eating fruits, that fruits have so much in it, And I wanted to give it a try. And I said, you know what? Let me give her fruits. If she eats fruits, she's surviving. It's enough for her to survive. But of course, while she was in the hospital, she was 100% vegan and mostly raw vegan. I can say 80% raw vegan. And I was bringing her food twice a day to the hospital, which was a struggle. It was easy. But I brought her like the apple pudding. Like I mashed the apple with some dates. I brought her a lot of juice.
Yeah.
Juicing before she had the stroke. I was bringing her juice all the time and all that stuff. But after the stroke, I had to fight to be able to give her the fruits. And I found out that when I put the fruit in the freezer, like an ice cream we make, like watermelon has a lot of water.
Yeah.
But she couldn't drink it because it would make her choke. But I put it in the freezer and it became like ice cream kind of, and she could swallow that. So slowly I fed her a little bit of fruits, and since doctors saw that, okay, she's able to do it, they said, okay. They said, okay, give her the food. But for water, she wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
And they did a couple of tests on her to give her permission to drink water. And I was like, these things have so many side effects. She can't, because even before she wasn't drinking that much water. She was eating a lot of fruits, maybe one glass of water. But before she went on this diet, she was drinking a lot of water when she was eating a normal. Yeah. So they didn't know about these things, but I had to like argue with them, not fight, but argue with them. Like, okay, this is what I know. I know fruits have a lot of water. You just let me give her fruits. She'll be okay. So finally, I told them, I'm her power of attorney. She doesn't need this test because it's gonna make her body more toxins and more itchy and give her allergies. And I know when I bring her home, she's able to eat this food. But they made me feel really bad, and they said, you want to kill her and all that. And I said, okay, whatever she wants, she's there, ask her. So she did the test, and they didn't give her permission to drink water. Finally, to make the long story short, we were able to bring her home. So I asked them to remove the IVs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they did, but they were scared. They were like, she's going to die. You're going to kill her. She's going to get dehydrated over the summer. And I knew she wasn't going to die out of dehydration as long as she's eating watermelon, or any fruit, oranges or other fruits. Anyway, we brought her home, and I gave her that frozen. But of course, I got some stuff like, I forgot the things we use in cooking of raw food or cooking of vegan food that makes the water more solid, kind of jelly-like.
Like chia seeds or...
Yeah, chia seeds, flax seeds. There's another one, something husk.
Psyllium husk?
Yeah, something. It's from the ocean, and it has a lot of nutrition.
Irish moss?
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned about that, and I would put that in her fruit and make it a jelly-like, because that's the way she was able to eat. So anyway, I gave her that, and one day she was like, I want water, And I gave her a couple of spoons, and she was able to swallow it. And she goes, no, give me the cup of water, I gave it to her, and she was able to drink it. And she's like, don't give me the puddings. I want fruits like that. I want the banana like that. And I started cutting it, and she's, knock on wood, she's able to eat. I'm just grateful, for the past year, she has been able to swallow food and eat food, because what kind of quality of life it is when we are not even able to enjoy food and get food through our nose. I mean, I'm grateful that she's, she is not the same way as she was before she had the stroke. Her fingers are not perfect. She needs help, but she's able to walk. She's able to walk to the bathroom. She's able to walk outside. She's able to come with me to restaurants.
Yeah.
She's you know, I'm happy about that.
That's awesome. That's really amazing. It sounds like you've seen a lot of different types of doctors, but you've had some that have been really, really at least truthful. Like even starting way back from, with your husband, where they said like this won't fix it, but it will mask the symptoms, which led you to other doctors that told you more truths to reverse things instead of just masked symptoms, right?
Definitely. There are doctors who have the time to research
Yeah.
and know more about nutrition, and there are other doctors, I don't blame them, they're so busy
Yeah.
with their work and their studies and universities and their patients, they might not know about these things. Otherwise they would want to help us. It's not that they don't want to help us, it's just that some doctors, either they get sick or their family members get sick, or they just are more interested or more courageous, and or more they have more free time or whatever, they go and study. Like the raw vegan doctor, they study more stuff.
Yeah.
The reason my raw vegan doctor knew about it is because he had cancer and he was gonna die.
Yeah.
He was gonna die 6 months later, so he was able to save himself. He read Dr. Shelton's book.
Yeah.
About fasting also.
Yeah. Rational fasting.
Yeah, there
That's
was
a good
another
one.
doctor, Besky. His last name is very similar to the doctor, the American doctor, Bashki, I think his name is. Very similar names. But this doctor died at the age of 84, but he had stomach cancer when he was young. He was in his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So he learned about, but he didn't eat like the 80-10-10. He ate sprouted, he ate grains too.
Yeah.
But he survived, but then at the age of 84 or 85, he went into a coma. So for 1 year, he was in that state. But the other doctor is still alive in Europe, and he eats like the 80-10-10.
Yeah.
And he eats a very specific, certain food combination is big for him.
Yeah.
And, he's very cautious with what he eats,
Yeah.
but mostly fruits and some greens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. It's a great combo. And I'm curious because you have this beautiful space now with all the fruit trees and stuff, but is this newer? Like if you moved here or during this time, did you have this backyard but just weren't necessarily quite as appreciative and connected to it as you are now?
I always loved plants. So we planted the fig tree about 12 years ago. Before I have been on this, I started in 2014. So it was around 2012, 11 that we planted this one. And but everything else one by one planted for Valentine's Day instead of going to restaurants, and many of them have been added after. Like the Chinese dates was. I have a persimmon tree that almost died last 4 years ago. It almost died, but I was able to save it. And the apricot tree was after we went raw, but and the peach tree after we went raw. The Mayer lemon was here when we moved in. That was the only tree that we it was when we moved in. Pomegranate, I think maybe we planted before we went raw. Yeah, because pomegranate is a Persian fruit that is very famous in Iran, and we believe in, pomegranate is great for blood building, and if someone has low hemoglobin or like you need to build blood or whatever, pomegranate is great for that. And it has, in the ancient Persian medicine, pomegranate is very powerful. And then the tangerine tree is a miniature tree. It was supposed to be small, but it grew. I had a nice grape, Thompson grape in the backyard, but it died, unfortunately. And I have a Washington tree that's a miniature and it's small, but sometimes people come, I like the fruits ripe. You know how we all want to eat them ripe. We know it tastes better and they have more nutrition. And this is my best opportunity to eat ripe food, ripe fruits. But when people come and visit me and they see that all my tangerines are on the tree, and people pick them right away, because a lot of people believe the sooner you pick them, the more they will grow for next year. But I don't care. I want them ripe. I don't care if next year I don't have any tangerines. I like
You're
them
in the moment
juicy.
right now. Just I want the right, perfect stuff right now.
My only opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
And and they're like, can I take your tangerines because you're not eating them, or your pear lemons? I'm like, I feel like if I pick them before they're ripe, we are actually killing them early. Like I'm shortening their life also.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't understand. Not everybody understands these things, you
Yeah.
know. This could be part of being raw, or having more, being more sensitive to the fruits and to the planet, to the environment, to the trees. Know that they, they have feelings too, and they deserve to live as much as they can, you know. And
Yeah.
it's more, so yeah. So people come and they want. It's strange how when people eat everything, they want to also eat your food. Like you take something. I mean, it's wonderful that they want to try your food, but I know when we traveled back to Iran, um, we told everyone that this is our diet and this is what we're eating. They would invite us and we would say, oh, maybe we shouldn't come because this is how we eat. You will not like it. And they will be like, no, what do you eat? We'll prepare that for you. And they prepared like a nice salad for us with some pomegranates over our salad and some dates. And then I noticed that people who are eating everything,
Yeah.
they wanted to taste our food first.
You're like,
They
this is
wanted to
ours though. This is I eat this much.
yes.
Yeah, I've had that same experience. Like, and even if I bring my own food to like a gathering or something like that, sometimes, you bring a portion for yourself, and everyone thinks like, oh, this is a family portion. Like, no, this is my portion.
That's why we started taking extra. If
Yeah,
we ate it, if we didn't eat it, we would bring it back. But it's better to have extra and not to
always,
go over there.
absolutely,
Yeah,
always.
everybody wants to try your food because it's delicious.
Yeah,
You
bright
learn
and vibrant, and yeah, almost everyone has some good memories with really good quality fruit. It's just they get distracted with other stuff, but when you're there and you're enjoying it, and they see it, and it's like, yeah, bright colors and vibrant and juicy, and yeah, it's So has other family members or like friends and stuff like that really noticed the changes in yourself and your husband and really been inspired by that, or is it mostly within your tight knit circle of your husband and your mother?
yes, they have been inspired, but nobody that I know that went raw. My students did.
Yeah.
Many of my students, because I'm a teacher, so when I was at school, definitely many of my students were influenced.
Mm-hmm.
Family members, in our culture, I guess, I don't know, people are so used to the food
Yeah.
and depend on the food. Um, but they get interested, they read about it. Some of them already eat a lot of greens, like many of them already eat a lot of greens, but to be eating like us, no. I remember like we had a couple of relatives coming here, we told them this is what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, be ready, and they go, okay, we're gonna try eating like you.
Yeah.
And maybe the wife tried, the husband couldn't, or they tried but they wanted, sometimes they crave their like bread, or they would have something in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But people that I have been able to influence more are mostly my students, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the people in the Persian community, the
Mm-hmm.
people in the raw vegan community of Iran, because we have a big community over there. We have live sessions every day, like at least
Yeah.
4 or 5 every day that you can join and talk. And people who are sick come in there and they talk and they ask for help. And people who have been healed, they come and talk.
Yeah.
So over, I have been able to influence a lot of people who want to stay raw, but being 100% raw is not easy. It's not an easy task, especially when everybody else in your family is eating cooked food and you have to cook for them. you know but there are people who are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot actually, and been asked to come out there on a little bit for festivals and fun stuff like that at some point, but and always told that there's really good quality foods, fruits and vegetables, and dates especially, and a bunch of other ones, of course. But
Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
think
It sounds
I've been,
too like go ahead.
I'm sorry, I think I have been able to influence them in bringing some raw food into their life. like eating more
Yeah.
fruits and maybe eating 1 or 2 portions of raw, but trying
Yeah.
to help get 100% raw in the family, I haven't been able to. I had a struggle with my brother when my mom was in the hospital because he didn't believe in these things, but he saw how slowly my mom got healed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's really all we can do is just lead by example and shine as bright as we can and enjoy this life as much as we can. Because, you know, if it plants a seed and people start adding a little bit more fruits and vegetables into life, that's a win in of itself. You know, it all goes in the direction towards health to add more.
By the way, I ended up losing 58 pounds
Dang.
because of this. And at 2 o'clock, like in 4 minutes, my recipe will go on. It will be showing on Chef AJ.
Nice.
Uh, and
Which recipe are you doing again on Chef AJ?
I'm gonna be doing the cold soup. It's
Yes.
made with. Mm-hmm.
The cucumber soup, right?
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
Persian traditional soup.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then I'm also gonna be live with another friend of mine here in the bundle, Alena.
Okay.
Alana,
Yeah. Awesome.
yes,
Yeah.
at
That's
in
awesome.
2 minutes, in 3 minutes,
Oh,
I
three
think.
minutes. Okay. Well, we should probably wrap this up then. Well, I really appreciate chatting with you and you sharing your story. And I'm sure it's inspired a lot of people. It's awesome that not only yourself, but your husband and your mother are seeing so many benefits with the raw food lifestyle. And it sounds like you've been able to kind of lean on each other a little bit and help each other out in the times when it's a little bit up and down with wanting to do the diet or not. And that's amazing.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me being in this interview with you and talking to you today.
Such a pleasure, absolutely. And thank you also for contributing to the bundle. And just so everyone knows, we're both a part of the bundle. We have our newest books in there, and you can go grab the bundle in Roya's Instagram here. It's Raw Fruity Miracle with dots in between, and you can probably click it up here, hopefully very easily.
Yeah,
But definitely give her a follow and enjoy
fruity
the bundle if you haven't.
fruity
Sorry,
dot miracle.
fruity.
Fruity dot miracle, and I have a pizza recipe in there. I have a banana chocolate stick.
Yeah.
I have fruit rolls that you can also make a wrap with it. I have cakes. I have papaya cake. I have some Persian recipes, Persian ice cream. I have raisins, cookies, Persian raisin cookies. I have fesenjoon. That's a Persian stew
Oh, nice.
with custard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have another Persian dish tachin that has some mulberry in it, if
Ooh.
I'm pronouncing it right. Yes, those little red ones, they have a lot of nutrition too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good for you. And please check that out. And I'm sure you're gonna love Chris's ebook. He's a great chef. Everybody knows that.
Oh, bless you. Your recipe book looks very, very beautiful, and lots of that pizza jumped out right at me too. And there's many recipes in there that look really awesome. I'm sure a lot of people are going to enjoy that as well. I like your cakes too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Use them.
sorry.
We need cakes for birthdays.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And we need cakes too to show everyone that we're not just eating leaves and some bananas, which I don't mind, but sometimes it's nice to bring people in and have a big potluck and bring cakes like that to events and just if you feel like having cake for lunch, well, heck, you're doing amazing having cake for lunch, which is awesome.
Yes, and I made the wrap from Lisa's recipe, and I'm so excited about that.
They're very,
Yeah,
very good.
and
There's so many amazing, amazing resources in the bundle and like over 400 amazing recipes and yoga and mindfulness and self-love practices and fitness. It's pretty
yeah,
amazing.
and I went shopping yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. What are you gonna make?
I'm gonna make something that Lisa made. I think it was made with bell peppers, and it had stuffing in it
Yeah.
with coconut.
Yeah.
That's I want to make yours, the rolls,
Yeah.
those
Spring
spring rolls.
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I'm starting with these two,
Oh.
and I'm doing some sweet potato wraps. I
Ooh.
haven't had sweet potatoes in a long time, maybe once since I went raw.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to try them.
Oh, I'm excited to see and to hear how you enjoy them as well. Some of those are on my list as well because I haven't had sweet potatoes for a really long time, and I'm excited to see if you really like the spring rolls. When I made them, I was very, very happy with them. So I hope you are too.
I'm sure I will enjoy it very much.
Awesome.
Very nice talking to you here today. Thank you so much.
You too, Roya. Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot, and thanks for reaching out and joining us and sharing with your open heart. Is definitely a pleasure. And I hope that your next live goes really well too.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye
Thank you, Roya.
bye.
See you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye bye.